At the center of every great dynasty is the crown jewel, which keeps it alive and thriving. For the Krusty Krab, this is the Krabby Patty.
Alrighty, so with the incredible success of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's only natural viewers and fans of the show will grow attachments to certain characters more than other characters. It's fandom 101 stuff, pretty basic science and all that. In the vast majority of cases, the fan favorite will usually be the main character of said shows. Steven from Steven Universe, Anne from Amphibia, or Luz from the Owl House. But that doesn't mean that there haven't been some exceptions to this. Maybe I'm smoking one by saying this, but sometimes it feels like characters like Prince Zuko from the Avatar series or Marceline from Adventure Time have the popularity factor over their respective MCs. The Amazing Digital Circus seems to fall into the same category, where instead of Pomni being the most popular character, that title seems to belong to Jax. So similarly to my Alastor and Gwimbly videos from the recent past, I wanted to take a look at Jax's character and go over why I believe people love him so much. But real quick, I wanted to say this video is brought to you by my new Patreon page. It's been up for a little bit now, so if you're a fan of the channel and would like to show some extra support, then the Patreon is the perfect way to do so. Right now, I've got 2 tiers that come with some pretty cool exclusive stuff like text or vocal shoutouts and videos, early access to certain videos, and sneak peeks via video thumbnails. I want to add more perks in the future too. So thank you so much to London Morse and everyone else for their support in general. It really does mean the world to me. So with my previous videos like this, I want to first go over Jax's design and general backstory for how Gooseworks was inspired to create a character like him. His physical appearance doesn't really seem to be anything super deep. He's simply a tall purple rabbit with overalls and gloves. However, the overalls could be associated with farm clothing, farms being places that rabbits get into all over the world to take crops from the farms for their own food supply. The gloves are likely a nod to the older rubber hose cartoons from the early 1900s, well-known characters like Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny being some of the earliest iterations of this style, while other characters in more recent media like the Cuphead franchise or Spinel from Steven Universe used the gloves trend too. His name Jax was never given a direct confirmed inspiration as far as I'm aware while writing this video. However, it's probably a safe bet to think it derived from the genus Lepus hares or jackrabbits. These animals are usually taller than the average rabbits in both body length and ear length, just like Jax being one of the tallest characters in the main cast alongside Kinger, and his ears also being noticeably long. Gooseworks herself did say in a live stream that Jax's design was inspired by Poppy the Performer, the main protagonist of a Japanese animated short series from the early 2000s. Genuinely didn't know this existed until making this video either. Some of these screenshots from it give you the heebie-jeebies, I'm not gonna lie. This next part is just a dumb headcanon slash weird comparison of mine, but because Jax is also purple, I can't help but associate him with Jax the League of Legends champion, who also has a majority purple colors game. Fuck that champion, by the way, it's never fun to play against. If you know, you know. His voice seems to be another big factor for why the fanbase loves him so much. It's just very pleasing on the ears. We can all agree on that, I'm sure. The almost constant smiling with his teeth showing further push the cool factor in my opinion. He's a lot like Alistair in this regard. He doesn't constantly smile like Al does, but he does it enough to evoke a level of confidence that fans seem to respect and appreciate a ton. Jax's voice actor, Michael Kovac, who also voiced Angel Dust in Hazbin Hotel's pilot and Rocky from Lackadaisy, was instructed to make Jax sound similar to Raggedy Andy, the little brother from the Raggedy Ann franchise, with Kovac deciding to make Jax sound a bit more rough around the edges with his way of speaking to fit his character's personality more, since Raggedy Andy wasn't really a dickhead type character like Jax is. Perhaps it was also intentional to make Jax the youngest because Raggedy Andy is the younger brother of Raggedy Ann and Ragatha is older than Jax, which I think could be a good segue into the next part, Jax's personality. I know a lot of people could just come to this video and be like, I like him because he's Tumblr sexy man, you don't need to ramble for 7 minutes, yada yada, but what kind of YouTuber would I be if I didn't spend my time dissecting the personality of a purple cartoon rabbit? To put it into the simplest terms possible, Jax is kind of an asshole. Nobody else in the circus really likes him because of this. He constantly messes with others and gets lots of enjoyment from others' pain, both physical and mental.
You're violating my ears with your clapback. Get driving, driver!
The quote-unquote asshole archetype character can be a tricky one to tackle because there are layers to it. Not every single character with a crappy or mean personality within the universe of the show they're a part of will automatically be loved by the fandom. In fact, the exact opposite effect can occur depending on the representation. I'm going to use Eddie's brother from Ed, Edd and Eddy as an example. This is a character who, like Jax, gets enjoyment from others' pain, specifically his brother. However, the reason it hits so much different with a character like Eddie's brother is because this was a guy who was being constantly gassed up by Eddie himself about how much of an awesome guy he was. So for him to finally make his debut and turn out to be the hidden antagonist for the show's overall finale, it was quite a twist. He worked as a villain, which is a good thing, but the fans don't really like him because he continuously tormented one of the only people who actually looked up to him to some degree, his own little brother at that. It just kind of hits different when it's blood family, you know? Jax is someone I wouldn't consider a villain or even an antagonist, so why does it work for Jax to the point where the fans can't get enough of him? Well, despite his mean-spirited ways, almost all of his interactions with the other circus members are never too severe to the point where anyone is getting truly hurt physically or mentally. Episode 2 seemed to further solidify this fact. Ragatha had a spike go through her, Kinger had a bunch of knives in his head, and all of them fell from what looked like hundreds of feet into a fudge lake, yet none of them sustained serious injuries. At this point, because of everything I've seen, I'm going off the assumption that the only things that can truly hurt the main circus crew are Kane and if they abstract. So despite the digital circus crew following a family-style dynamic with everyone acting like younger or older siblings of sorts, Jax being the youngest since he's canonically 22, it appears much less toxic and more tolerable here than compared to Eddie and his brother's dynamic. Almost all of Jax's actions feel a lot more inconsequential because of the way the world of the circus works, with none of the circus members having any kind of pre-established connection to him or others before coming to the circus. So it's quite interesting to me how, although it seems like he's still very beloved overall, a small minority of folks have seemed to turn on him after watching episode 2 because he's, I guess, too much of an asshole now or something. Like, outside of wanting to go a bit overboard with the violence on the Gummy Croc boys, his actions felt pretty in line in this episode with how he was acting in the pilot. If anything, the ending of this episode did a good yet subtle job at showing the audience a potential reason as to why Jax is the way he is. When Ragatha announced that she was going to start Kaufmo's funeral service, Jax was the only former human character that didn't participate in any way, shape, or form. But before he walks away, we can see he had a bit of a sad expression on his face before storming off angrily. This was a good way to show a more vulnerable side of Jax, in my opinion. Maybe he's not a complete asshole to his core and struggles with sharing or dealing with genuine emotion outside of anything that can give him some kind of adrenaline rush. Jax definitely seemed to be the most invested in the Candy Kingdom adventure. I know the other characters try to use the adventures to help keep their minds occupied, but Kaufmo's funeral showed that they still want to keep their humanity alive by honoring others who weren't mentally strong enough to make it through. Doing this helps them stay more grounded to a degree and lets everyone else know that they have each other. However, with Jax, it feels like he might be getting so invested to the point where he treats literally everything in there like it's an actual game, arguably being the most disconnected from his original self than any other character. Hence why he was so bent out of shape about the climax of the Candy Kingdom adventure not being epic or badass enough like an actual, finale in a video game. My boy is just too lost in the sauce. Some fans have also started to speculate Jax could actually be an NPC like Dummy Goo, who made his way into the circus on accident and Kane never noticed. Due to him being such a dickhead for no reason and serving as an alternate reason to the one I presented earlier about why he struggles to relate to the other characters so much and couldn't bring himself to attend Kaufmo's funeral. Not necessarily denying this possibility, but because Jax has been given an actual age by Gooseworks along with it being implied that Kinger would have seen him arrive there, it makes me a little bit skeptical about this theory. Granted, Kinger's mind isn't the most reliable in the world, but if anything, I'd put more money on Kinger being the NPC, if anything, rather than Jax. Obviously, I'm not saying it can't be Jax. There could be a reality where nobody is a secret NPC, and that line by Kane was just thrown in there simply to mess with our heads, but only time will tell. With episode 2 completely cementing this show to be mainly character growth focused as opposed to solving the big mysteries of the circus for the time being, it makes me very eager to see how things could evolve for a character like Jax. It feels like there could be a lot of directions a character like his could go, especially if the NPC theory ends up coming true. Just keep him an asshole the entire time, reveal he's an NPC as a reason for his actions, or reveal something completely different from his past to serve as the reason as to why he is the way he is. But I can't help but wonder if his popularity with the fandom would decline a bit if he were to become more calm and respectful around the circus members. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of these types of videos on other digital circus characters or characters you like in general. I would love to hear some of your suggestions. Don't be a stranger to leaving a like down below if you enjoyed the video and subscribing for more content like this in the future. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.